Greetings, friends. So for this particular video, I'm going to show you one of my workflows. This is actually going to be pretty awesome. So one of the questions that I get asked very frequently is how do I generate so much content? So this workflow is actually a content propagation workflow. So I'll go over one of the items that I have in Visio and show you from start to finish how you can generate great content. Now, before I jump into the meat of this video, you know what to do. Like and subscribe onto this particular channel so you can continue to get updates as well as to let me know how I'm doing on this particular channel. All right, so without further ado, let's jump into it. So initially, when you have an idea for content, what a lot of businesses or a lot of people do in general with respect to content creators is they take that one piece of content and they only use it one time, or they may recycle that same piece of content on that platform. So what I'm going to show you is how I take a video and I stretch that out into several pieces of content. Now, the very first thing that you want to do when you're setting something up like this is to make sure that you create a workflow. So I'm using Visio for my workflow. The whole idea behind the workflow is that it gives you a visual idea of what everything looks like in terms of its layout. And then you can take that and you can move some stuff over. So essentially, this is your storyboard. So you can take that content out and then you can manipulate it how you see fit based on your brand marketing goals and sales goals. So typically, when I start with my content, I start with the videos. So first of all, we have our content calendar in terms of the top topics. So there would be like a sales calendar or a marketing calendar or a retail calendar, if you would. And so that's going to talk about like the high level points of what we're going to talk about. So that would be like, what do we do in January? That's going to be like your New Year's and things are starting over. Or February, that's Valentine's Day, or April and May when we're talking about spring refreshes. So that's super important just to go on the high level. But as we jump actually into creating the videos themselves, then we'll just jump into our spreadsheet. So essentially, what happens is a video is created in our workflow. We'll take that piece of video and it'll get processed. So the processing means that we can add subtitles, we can add music, we can add color grading, we can add text to it in certain areas or images in terms of that workflow, and that will allow us to have a refined product. Once we have that refined product, we are golden. We'll take that particular content and we can take that and turn it into the content that I mentioned. So we can take it and put it into a feed, and we can turn that into a visual assembly of content of snippets. And those snippets can be used on Google My Business and similar platforms in terms of stories or whatever that platform happens to call their thing. I think Instagram had Reels at some point in time, but that's what those snippets can be used for. Another vein that you can take this content down is to use the actual written content based on it. So the written content, you would send out the transcription to the writing team, and then they would take that content and they can generate a full blog post. And that blog post can be assembled and it can be put as part of your website, or it can be put as part of as newsletters and similar. The other thing that you can do is to create more snippets. So these snippets will be your quotes. Edward says this, and that would be delivered to your visual media team once again. So they would create those Instagram quotes and similar, and that content can once again be used on Google My Business, Instagram Stories, uh, LinkedIn, Nextdoor, and that sort of thing. And then in terms of the video content itself, going down that main lane, we can take that full video and post it in native format on LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, whatever platform that you desire that works again with your brand. Now, I am a proponent of native posting to the platforms because I believe that you get the most out of the platform when you native post. But there's certainly a lot of people that will post their video on YouTube and then take that YouTube link and share it to the other platforms. Once again, it really just depends on what you're trying to do with that. So the last thing that we can do with the content would be to take that content and send it over for audio processing. And this is the part that a lot of people leave out, this audio processing. So you can literally remove the audio from the speech that you're giving or the presentation that you're giving and send that out to be processed. And when I say process, you know how you have the podcast and they have welcome to the great show and starring your host, that is how you would process that. So you add like a header and then a tail end of your video, excuse me, of your audio file, and then they also do the audio correction and making sure that the audio is leveled appropriately and EQ'd, and that gives you that crisp sound. So that's the processing component. So once that's done, the file is mixed down or rendered, and then it's saved, and then you can upload that to a podcast distribution platform, such as Anchor or similar. Anyway, that's how we do content creation. I'm curious to see how you guys would do content creation on your platform. If you guys want a copy of this, let me know. If we get enough people to reach out for us on this, then what I will do is I will create a packet for this to be downloaded so you guys can use in your organizations. All right, guys. So that's what I have for this particular video. Again, if it has value, don't forget to do the thing, smash that like button, and to subscribe to this particular channel. All right, guys, I love to hear your comments. And until next time, I will see you all next video.